Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Ooh, we hooked us a big one. Link's Awakening isn't just considered one of the greatest Game Boy games ever made. In some circles, it's considered one of the best games ever. Managing to scale down an epic game like Legend of Zelda all the way to Game Boy and keep it entertaining while still playing around with mechanics is one of the most impressive feats Nintendo ever pulled off. In fact, the director of the Zelda games, Takashi Tezuka, even said he likes Link's Awakening more than Link to the Past due to having to work on such a smaller scale. It's about as top level a pedigree as you can get for a game. And yet, here comes the second act twist that may make viewers faint. I've never actually played it. In fact, I've barely played any Zelda game. It's weird. Despite being considered one of the most consistently good franchises in gaming history, the Zelda series has always just kinda passed me by. Even with the recent remake on Switch, I've never taken the time to play Link's Awakening. But it does create a pretty level playing field for this review. I'm not being affected by nostalgia or by the other games, I'm going in blind. Well, aside from the tons of footage I've seen over the years, oh forget it, you know what I mean. The cover is one of the most iconic in Game Boy history, partially because of how simple it is. The gold background, the grand logo, it sets it apart from other covers of the time, while still calling back to the original NES game. It's an absolute classic, but one I haven't experienced yet. Time for me to wake up to The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Oh man, Game Boy cutscenes. And it looks pretty amazing. In fact, I believe this is like one of the most iconic cutscenes in Game Boy history. Which makes sense, it's one of the most iconic games. There's Lonk. Lonk has died. Meanwhile, on an island across town, look at the water flow. That's really nice animation for Game Boy again. Oh god, what is this character's name? Again, I've watched playthroughs of this, so I kinda know what to do, I just forget everything's like details. Mary? I wanna say it's Mary. It's probably Mary. She tries to shake Link. We pan up to reveal an egg. And wait for it. And Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. One of the greatest Game Boy games ever made, according to most people. One that I have not played, but have watched enough of it to kind of know, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let's go. Claire, I am, of course, Link. Link tosses and turns in bed while Mary and Mario stare at him. What a relief. I thought you'd never wake up. You were tossing and turning. What? Zelda? No, my name's Marin! Oh, I was so close. And he gives me my shield, right? Yeah, because then I have to go to the beach to get my sword. Again, I have never actually sat down and played the game, but I've seen enough of it to have a general idea of how the game works. I completely forget what's in the phone room. Hello, it's me. Ulrira, ask me anything about the island. This is a nice chest. Why, thank you. Isn't there a Chain Chomp around here? Hang on, I gotta find the Chain Chomp. Hey! Confirmed fact, Chain Chomps are the best enemy. I believe you press select... What? Oh, it's like a map. And start must bring up the menu. There we go. And you have to collect 8 instruments to fight the final boss. Oh! Wasn't this thing also in Super Mario Land 2? Didn't they reuse the sprites? It looks very familiar. Select, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just gonna mash the buttons. See ya. Sword! Must be yours because it has your name engraved on it. Did Link engrave his name on the Master Sword? So far, control-wise, it's exactly as good as you'd expect. Moving around is totally fine. Combat is very responsive. Oh! Oh, I can do the spin attack. Yeah! Oh. I can also do the poke attack. I mean, at some point, I really do need to sit down and play this whole game. It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. I mean, just playing it right now, the sheer scope of it for Game Boy, looking at the map, is ridiculous. I mean, there were a lot of Game Boy games that were just like the size of the number of rooms we've unlocked already. I don't know how long it is. I think it's only like a 4 to 5 hour game. But yeah, for a linear Game Boy game, this length is pretty ridiculous. Mysterious Forest. It's a little bit mysterious. Oh, only a little bit? Quest to Wake the Dreamer. Mysterious Wood. Whoa. Cool, see ya. Let's go fight. Oh my god. Oh, this music. Oh, this remix. So it's just the standard sort of Zelda build. A mixture of combat, mysteries, and puzzle solving that no other game has been able to do quite as well. How you... Oh, you're a good guy. Beware of floors with cracks. No, 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 no! It's got a decent difficulty, too. I mean, we're super early, but you have to learn, you know, how to play. No. You can probably tell I'm not used to Zelda games. What if I do this? Haha! 50 rupees. Very nice. Thank you, game. Ah, Diglets! Oh, no, slimes. Whatever. Wow, this looks pretty heavy. You won't be able to lift it. Isn't there an item in the game like the power bracelet? I'll take that mushroom. Oh, wait, aroma, nostrils. That raccoon probably wants this, doesn't he? A lot of the puzzles in Zelda games, from what I have seen, are pretty much boiled down to the same kind of thing, where it's, you know, a lot of switch puzzles, essentially. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, again, no other game does it like Zelda does. And again, just the sheer scope of this game makes it one of the best Game Boy games ever. Hey, do you want a mushroom? Hey, mushroom. As a raccoon, my nose is very sensitive to stuff like dust and powder. It's the toadstool you picked in the woods. What is it for? Wait, what? Well, I've gotten somewhere. Oh god. Oh god, they're exploding. I need a power bracelet for over here. It's almost... I was gonna say Metro... What? Okay, let's not hit that thing anymore. I was gonna say it's like a Metroidvania, but... it's kind of doing its own thing. Hello. Double toil and trouble. A toadstool mix makes powder for tricks. Oh! Ah, it has the sleepy toadstool it does. We'll mix it up something in a jiffy, we will. Whoa, she's going nuts! Take care, as there's not much there. Why not try a bit in my hut? You've got some magic powder. Try sprinkling it on a variety of things. I mean, I'm very early in the game, but based on what I've played so far and what I've seen of the game, which is most of it, yeah, it's one of the best Game Boy games ever. It's the kind of thing where I'm just sitting here. I've already been going longer than I usually do for Game Boy Roulette, and I just want to keep playing. Keep exploring, keep adventuring. It's what makes Zelda so great, and what makes the fact that they brought Zelda to Game Boy all the more impressive. I got a piece of power. You can feel the energy flowing through you. So I resolved that at some point I will play through this whole game. But for now, I'm just gonna have to sigh and say, yeah, it's pretty amazing. It may surprise you, but Link's Awakening is actually a pretty good game. I only played about 15 minutes, which is more than I usually do for Game Boy Roulette, but between that and the footage I've seen, it's honestly more than enough to tell you that this is a classic. Link's Awakening is the ultimate example of what the Game Boy could do, taking a game as massive as Zelda and not only bringing it to the handheld, but doing it without losing anything that made the original game special. Heck, if anything, it built on the original, with more variety and story focus. I'd honestly say that in a lot of ways, Link's Awakening may surpass the original Legend of Zelda. But let's just assume I had never seen a Zelda game before, and this was my first time ever experiencing the series. Even in a vacuum, the game was great. Just 15 minutes into it and I had already battled enemies, used random items to craft new items to make progress, and gotten some details on the story of the game. The combat itself was quick and satisfying, while necessitating skill to get good, while the first puzzle just involved figuring out game mechanics, like how you can shove objects. It's just the right mix to get the game started and hook the player into continuing the adventure. Look, this doesn't even need saying, but The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a must-play game. Heck, doing this episode made me realize I'm long overdue to play through it myself. It truly is the absolute pinnacle of the Game Boy, and perhaps the pinnacle of handheld gaming entirely. And the reason for that pinnacle? Because there's a chain chomp in the game. A chain chomp! And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to subscribe so you can follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm BrianJ, and I'll see you next time.